Hi, this is Casey Zeman with EasyWebinar, and I wanted to ask you, what's one of the biggest problems with Google Hangouts? Well, here's the deal. You can't make an event private with a Google Hangout. And usually, different third-party software designed to be a front-end marketing tool for Google Hangouts will still not be able to solve the problem of making a Hangout private. So if you're looking to replace GoToWebinar, don't you want a software that will work kind of the same way? Meaning, don't you want a software that will allow you to do private events? Well, EasyWebinar's live stream integration will allow you to do private events that can be streamed to specific members or buyers, just like GoToWebinar. EasyWebinar also allows you to do public events that are search engine optimized to get ranked inside Google and YouTube, which is something that GoToWebinar actually can't do. So how does EasyWebinar allow you to do private events? Well, EasyWebinar is not an app for Google Hangouts. So it can actually integrate with Google Hangouts, but also YouTube Live. And with YouTube Live, you can do private member-only events that no one else on the web can see except those who were invited to watch. So let's actually go in right now and show you exactly how EasyWebinar integrates with YouTube Live and Google Hangouts for doing both public events, but also the coveted private events. And to do that, we'll have to go into YouTube. So let's go there right now. Here we are inside YouTube, and what I'm going to show you is how you can start a Google Hangout from the inside of YouTube. Usually, what people mostly do is they know how to start a Google Hangout inside of Google+. You simply come over to this tab, scroll down to Hangout, and it brings you into the Hangout dashboard, where then you can start a Hangout on air. But I'm going to show you how you can actually do the same thing inside YouTube. There are two ways of doing it. The first way I'm going to show you is very simply by going into Upload and coming over to this Broadcast button. Simply by clicking on this broadcast button, you will start a Google Hangout on air directly, and now you're seeing me. That's one way to do it. Now, that way will not allow you to privatize the actual live event. That will make it public, just like going into Google+ and starting it inside Google+. The only way to privatize this particular event is by doing it this way. You click over here and you go into Video Manager. And by going into Video Manager, you're taken to your Video Manager dashboard, and then you're going to come over here to Live Events. You're going to click on Live Events. And just so you are aware, Live Events is YouTube Live essentially, and it shows you your live events. And you would set up a new live event over here. Now, if you look at this page, it's very similar to when you set up any other Google Hangout event in any other page. For instance, if you go over to Google+ and you clicked on Hangouts on Air, it would ask you to start filling in your title and tell people what the event is about. Well, similarly, if you go over to here for your new live event, you would do the same thing. So I'm going to create a sort of dummy event, and I'm going to call this one How to Do Pilates from Home. I'm actually then going to choose to have this in the future scheduled for Saturday at 5 p.m. in my time zone. You can see it says Pacific, and I can change that if I wanted to stream it out in Eastern or wherever I am from or planned on streaming it out from. I'm then going to add a description. Now, oftentimes for a description, what you're going to want to do is fill in the detail here, almost like a very nice blog post. The idea behind the description is that it should create an expectation and anticipation of what the event is all about, so that you can entice more viewers to come to the actual event. I have a bit of a description right here that I wrote out that does exactly this. So let me post that here. Okay. Now we have a nice bit of description that really entices the viewer to come through and watch the event. Now, the reason you would put this in is for search engine optimization, so that this Hangout can get found in the search engine. So I would also put tags in, such as these. So the reason you would tag, describe, and title your event in an optimized fashion is so that when you stream out public to the world, your event can get found in Google as well as YouTube. For instance, if I were to go into YouTube and type in how to do Pilates at home, you would see all of these videos showing up. And here's just an example of the power of a Google Hangout streamed live into YouTube and into the search engines. As you can see, here is a video that I did. In fact, this was a Google Hangout, and I did it a week ago. And actually, during the event itself, this ranked right at the very top. So as soon as I clicked that broadcast, it was ranked, which means this is a very public event. So the power behind the public event is that you get that viral quality. And in fact, with a GoToWebinar, you can't get that. However, let's say you want to do an event for your members, only your members and people that have paid to come through. Well, in that instance, I would unlist this particular event so that no one sees it except the attendees you want to have see it. Please be aware that if you clicked private, no one could see the event at that point. So what you're going to want to do is click unlisted. And I'm going to show you how this works with EasyWebinar in 1 second. So I'm going to click unlisted, and then I'm going to go down and simply click the quick using Google Plus Hangouts on Air, because I want to simply use the existing Google Plus platform for this YouTube live event. You can also, by the way, use a custom encoding option, which will give you more options of cameras, ingestion settings, and more. Meaning that if you want to do a more advanced live event, you can using this setting. But in this scenario, I'm simply going to use the Google Plus Hangouts because that's good enough for what I want to do streaming my events. So I'm going to click Create Event. Now, because we scheduled it ahead of time, it's going to show up down here. And here's the event right here. And I'm actually going to click Start Hangout for the demonstration of this particular video so you understand how it works. So as you can see, right now we're off air, but what's going to happen is I'm going to actually go on air to demonstrate how this works. Remember, this particular Hangout is unlisted. So what that means is that it will not be found in either YouTube or Google. So here's how it's going to work. First, we're going to take this link. We're going to copy it, and we're going to go over to EasyWebinar. Right here, we are in the EasyWebinar dashboard, and we're in a particular event. I'm simply going to go over to the event page right here, and I'm going to take that YouTube URL that I just copied and post it as the event video. I'm going to put it in for mobile and for the streamed event page from your desktop, and I'm going to click Save. Now, once that saves, I'm going to go in and see how this is streaming out. So I'm going to click in Actions, go into the webinar links, and I'm going to go to the public event link right here. Now, if you notice, it says, please stand by, we're starting in 2 days. Well, that's because we set this for April 12th, if you recall, right? I've already clicked to start the Hangout. What we haven't done yet is click the Start Broadcast. So now once I click the Start Broadcast, click OK, it'll stream into that EasyWebinar page. And the good news is that this now is a live stream that is very private, only found on this particular page. So you can have this for your paid attendees and members only on this page. And to prove that, if we go into YouTube and I were to go and type in this particular title, how to do a Pilates workout from home, now what would generally happen is if this was a public event, it would be, you could find this event. In fact, here's the event I did last week. Now, but because we've clicked this and had it as a private event, you're not going to find it. In fact, if we go into our channel, usually what happens is if there is a live event, it will show up in this video tab here, and it will show what videos are streaming out. Now this was done 20 minutes ago, and you can see though that it's unlisted. If you notice, this is not found by the public. This is actually how I see it. Let me show you how the public sees this channel. If I go and click View as Public, this is exactly how my channel looks. Pretty much the same as when I was viewing it as myself. However, if you go into Videos, you're going to find that unlisted video that was in this slot that showed that Pilates tab is no longer here. And that's because an unlisted video will not show up to the public. It's unlisted to you only and to those you share the URL with. But because people are watching it from EasyWebinar's page right here, they don't see or get the URL. Therefore, no one has the URL, and it's a private event that can be held for your attendees only. Also, if we go to Google+, let's click into Profile, and inside Profile, you can see that that video that we just posted, or that is actually going on right now, is nowhere to be found. You can't find it. And that's because, as I said, it's unlisted. So, in fact, we've just created a private event using the power of Google Hangouts incorporated into YouTube Live. As I know, this is the only way to set a Google Hangout to private. So, if you've been looking to use a software or use Google Hangouts like GoToWebinar, and the only way you can do that is by having YouTube Live integrated with EasyWebinar. I can then do all the cool things that I want to do with Google Hangouts that are very similar to how I would use GoToWebinar. And inside EasyWebinar, everything will be streamed in. So I hope this helps in understanding the power behind using EasyWebinar with Google Hangouts, so that you can do, yes, not only those public events that are very popular for getting ranking, but also for doing private events and effectively using EasyWebinar as a substitution for GoToWebinar. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have any questions about EasyWebinar, please go ahead and leave a comment below. And if you haven't come into EasyWebinar yet, come on in and join us directly in our Facebook group, where we have questions, comments, and a growing community that is there to help you achieve your live streaming goals or your automated event goals. Remember, EasyWebinar is not only a live stream event software, but it also does automated pre-recorded events that can be streamed out in real time in your attendee's own time zone, streamed out multiple times during the day, week, month, what have you. So I can't wait to see you on the inside of EasyWebinar, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.